Hey everybody, Julie Christensen here, coming to you as promised with one of the lessons that I have learned in my 50 years of life. And this is one of the lessons from the first 10 years. So what I basically did was I took the list and I broke it down, one lesson for every year, and I've been doing them in 10-year snippets, so 5 groups of 10. So one of the lessons I realized that I learned in my first 10 years, and this is really surprising to me, and it may be to you as well, that I have the power to choose. And it seems funny that we might learn this early, because some of us don't learn this until we're, in our 40s, or maybe later. But for me, I was thinking back to when I was little, and when I was 3 years old, I learned how to read, and I was a voracious reader. I read everything. I read signs on the street, I read dictionaries, I read encyclopedias. I was reading Little House on the Prairie and Old Yeller and books like that by the time I was into kindergarten. And I wanted to know everything. So my mom and dad put me into piano lessons. And so I was probably maybe 4 or 5, I'm not sure, when I started piano. And I was in Jamaica at the time, and my piano teacher in Jamaica was very lovely. She was an older woman. I remember she was kind of plump. She was very soft-spoken, and she was very kind. And I really adored her. She made learning piano fun. And then when we came to Canada, I started piano lessons again. And then we switched schools, and the teacher at the new school was horrid. Meter stick, which she often used to rap my knuckles with and to spank my hands when I made a mistake on the piano. So of course, as a kind of nervous, anxious child, every time she whacked my hands, I would make more mistakes and she would hit me more. And then she would scream at me and tell me to dry up, and so every time I cried, she'd say, dry up. And I hated her. I despised her. And I decided I was done. I remember going back to my parents. I was probably 8 by this time. And I remember going back to my parents and saying, no more piano. I'm not going. And it didn't matter how much my mother cajoled or try to bribe me or try to convince me that this was a really bad idea to quit. I put my foot down and I was not going. And when I look back at it now, I realize that even as a young child, I recognized in myself the ability to make choices. And over the years, some of those choices have been in my favor, and some of those choices have been really stupid choices. Sometimes bad things happen because bad things happen, but sometimes bad things happen because you're stupid and you make stupid decisions. And I think that's true of me as well. Sometimes I've made some stupid decisions, but at the crux of it all is the understanding that I have the power to choose. That knowledge, that understanding has driven so much of my life in terms of the path that I've taken in terms of my career, and just, in terms of other things, the way that I run my business, the way that I do psychotherapy, the way that I coach people. I believe that we all have the power to choose. And when we harness that power, that is when we can see real, radical, positive, lasting change in our lives. So that's lesson number 1. I have the power to choose. I'm going to have some more come at you. Keep your eyes peeled on leverageu.tv. There's more to come. Thanks for watching.